Di bonito. Hoy leemos todo el capítulo 2. Oh, sorry. Today we read all the entire chapter 2. So we get a better sense of what we are reading, because when we read the purpose, we get lost a little bit. So when we finish reading the chapter, we read it entirely. And so we're going to start with this verse. You want to read? I can read the verse if you want, and you can read the rest.
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, no worries.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya, Naram Chaiva Narottaman, Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Yayam Udirayet. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Sarasvati, the goddess of learning, and unto Sila Vyasadeva, the author. Hari Hari. You can read the rest now if you want. I can read, if it's too much, I can read some. This is all we have to stop.
Let's do it. Divinity and divine service. Text 1. Ugrashrava Shuta
You don't have to
Goswami.
say, sorry, you don't have to say the text, so it reads like a prose, you know?
I just read it all
Yeah,
together.
like a prose, because it flows better. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. Ugrashrava Shuta Goswami, the son of Ramahasrana, being fully satisfied by the perfect questions of the Brahmanas, thanked them, and thus attempted to reply. Srila Shuta Goswami said, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the great sage Shukadeva Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyasa, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread or the ceremonies observed by the higher castes, his father Vyasadeva, fearing separation from him, called out, 'O my son!' Indeed, only the trees, which were absorbed in the same feelings of separation, echoed in response to the bereaved father. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Shuka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who, out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge, after having personally assimilated it by experience. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are of relevance to the world's welfare. When questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. The supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which man can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. By rendering devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of God. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, according to sages, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. Life's desires should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only healthy life or self-preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth. Nothing else should be the goal of one's works. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. The seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes that absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti. O best among of twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupational according to caste divisions and orders of life is to please the personality of Godhead. Therefore, within one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about glorifying, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is protector of the devotees. With sword in hand, intelligent men could throw the binding knots of reactionary work karma by remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message? O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely free from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is Paramatma, Supersoul, in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his message, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with the transcendental songs, is established in an irrevocable fact. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. Thus, established in the mode established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. Thus, the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the self as master. Certainly, therefore, since the time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, with great delight, because such devotional service is enlivening to the self. The transcendental personality of Godhead is indirectly associated with the three modes of material nature, namely passion, goodness, and ignorance. And just for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts the three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of these three, all human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu, the form of the quality of goodness. Firewood is a transformation of earth, but smoke is better than raw wood. And fire is still better for by fire we can derive the benefits of superior knowledge through Vedic sacrifices. Similarly, passion, rajas, is better than ignorance, tamas. But goodness, sattva, is the best because by goodness one can come to realize the absolute truth. Previously, all great sages rendered service on the personality of Godhead due to the existence above the three modes of material nature. They worshipped him to become free from material conditions and thus derive the ultimate benefit. Whoever follows such great authorities is also eligible for liberation from the material world. Those who are serious about liberation are certainly non-envious and they respect all. Yet they reject the horrible and ghastly forms of the demigods and worship only the all blissful forms of Lord Vishnu and his plenary portions. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance worship those in the same category, namely the forefathers, other living beings, and the demigods who are in charge of cosmic activities, for they are urged by a desire to be materially benefited with women, wealth, power, and progeny. In the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please him. Yoga is for realizing him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by him only. His supreme knowledge and all severe austerities are performed to know him. Religion, dharma, is rendering loving service unto him. He is the supreme goal of life. In the beginning of the material creation, the absolute personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, in his transcendental position created the energies of cause and effect by his own internal energy. After creating the material substance, the Lord Vasudeva expands himself and enters into it. And although he is within the material modes of nature and appears to be one of the created beings, he is always fully enlightened in his transcendental position. The Lord, as super soul, pervades all things, just as fire permeates wood, and so he appears to be of many varieties, though he is the absolute one without a second. The supersoul enters into the bodies of the created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature and causes them to enjoy the effects of these modes by the subtle mind. Thus the Lord of the universes maintains all planets inhabited by the demigods, men, and lower animals. Assuming the roles of incarnations, he performs pastimes to reclaim those in the mode of pure goodness.
Hari Hari. Very nice reading the whole thing. I was just trying to get the structure of this chapter, and first Sutta Goswami satisfied with them and then offer obeisance to his spiritual master Sukadeva Goswami, and then he offers glorifications for the questions they ask, and I when I listen to Radhika Raman, he does the same, this process of glorifying superiors and also glorifying who is listening, and so we see here Sukadeva Goswami is doing the same. He's glorifying the good questions of them, and then he instructs them how to listen, with pointed attention, and he tells them, okay, I'm going to tell you this, but you need to be attentive, and this is why you need to be attentive. And they give all the benefits, like the knot of the heart get destroyed, and so you have peace. They also tell them how they have to perform, unmotivated and, uninterrupted. And so it gives all the prescription how this to be done. And then so the mind is enlivened, the knot in the heart is spears. Then we become established in there. So it's very interesting, the process of how Sutta Goswami is talking to the sages. And then he talks about how we are entangled in this world and how Krishna is the supreme most to be worshipped. And so he gave us that kind of structure in this chapter. So basically it's an introduction. He hasn't spoken the Bhagavatam yet. In one sense, obviously he's speaking the Bhagavatam, but in a sense he's not answering the questions, that's what I meant to say, to the sages yet, because he's just given the background. He's just saying, okay, you are my guru is the best, you are great, and this is the conditions you need, and this is why you need the condition, this is the benefit of these conditions, and then and this is why Krishna Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality Godhead, is to be worshipped, is to be listened, and he's in our heart, and he's going to help you from within. So more or less, stay with me seated, and this is what you're going to get. So he gives the prescription. He gives the prescription, and he gives also the benefits of the prescription, and he explained why this is supposed to be happening. So it's a very, very good chapter to keep in mind what's going on. Radhika Raman explains very much, we need to be aware of the context, what's going on overall, So overall, this is what's going on in this chapter. The sages were worried in the previous chapter. They were full of smoke. They could not, the Kali Yuga was advancing. They know people were short-minded, and they had no, live short. They like to fight. They don't have memory, and say how they're going to learn, how they're going to serve God. So they were worried. And after 1,000 years, they say, okay, let's ask Sutta, who's here to help us. He heard from his master, so he must be able to help us. And they surrender to him, and they glorify him, and they ask these amazing questions, And so now Sutta is giving you, okay, good questions. This is the benefits. This is why, and this is why Krishna, why the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and this is all the benefits you're going to get. So stay seated, and we're going to keep reading now the next chapters.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So we end today chapter 2 of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very nice. Anything else you want to add to this?
I don't. So in some parts I was like,
Your heart.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very nice reading. For me, it's nice to listen. Normally, I like to read, but in English, I think it's harder. I like to listen to you reading. I feel like I get it more.
Yeah, I never have done like that. It's super cool. So nice.
There is one verse in here I really like. I think it's in the beginning. Yeah, this one. I love this verse. I'm going to read the Sanskrit a bit. We already read it, but I don't. Savai punsa paro dharmo. So Savai punsa paro dharmo. The Dharma supreme, paro dharmo. As Yatur Bhaktira Adokshaye. Yato Bhaktira Adokshaye. Is Bhakti, devotion to Adokshaye, the one with the lotus eyes. Ahaitukiya Pratihata. It has to be uninterrupted and unmotivated. And then Yayatma Suprasidati. Then one completely satisfy the self. So it's very nice verses. One of my favorite verses, 1, 2, 6. Savaimpusa paro dharmo yato bhaktira dokshaye haitu kriya pratiyata yayatma suprasidati. Very nice.
Yeah.
You want to read it?
Sure.
We already read it, but I just like it so much.
Saivapumam samparo dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaye ahaitukki apratihata yayatama yayatama
Okay.
purashitati.
Okay. Savai punsa paro dharmo. Repeat.
Savaipum samparo dharmo
Yato bhakti radokshaye.
yato bhaktir adokshaye
Ahaitukiya pratihata.
ahaitukki aparatihata
Yayatma suprasidati.
yayatma suprashidati.
Very nice. That's what the devotees repeat the verses many times. Savai punsa paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaye ahaitukiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati.
Saivaputsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaye ahaitukki paratidahata yayatma suprasidati. That's
Apratihata, apratihata, uninterrupted
apratihata.
and uninterrupted, unbroken, says here the translation.
Unbroken.
Unmotivated, without, you don't have a motivation or something like that. I want to gain some personal things, so it has to be uninterrupted and unmotivated. And yesterday we listened to the Bhagavatam description from Radhika Ramana. He was saying the main difference from the Bhagavad and all the other Puranas or written books, the written, there's so many, the Vedas including, and so many other, the Upanishads and so on and so forth. The difference between those books and the Bhagavatam is the Bhagavatam is constantly glorifying Krishna, glorifying and talking about Bhagavan the whole time, repeated almost in every verse. That's why it says in every verse, if you listen to one verse, you can get purified because every verse it has Krishna. And we read in here the declaration how Krishna is the supreme benefactor, how Krishna is in the heart, and so on and so forth. So basically, in every line, it's continually talking about Bhagavan. That's the only thing. Other books talk about Bhagavan, but not continuously, not all the time. And so here is funny because here says also we need to, perform devotional service uninterrupted and unmotivated. So almost the same, uninterrupted. Like Bhagavatam is an uninterrupted glorifying Krishna. So anyway, I thought about that. It's interesting. Thank you, Devesha.
Sure.
See you tomorrow. Let's offer respectful obeisance to all Vaishnavas, devotees of the Lord, like they are like a desire tree, full of compassion for the conditioned soul. Again, let us offer respectful obeisance to all the Vaishnava, devotees of the Lord. They are like a desire trees, able to fulfill everyone's desire, and they are full of compassion for the conditioned soul. Shai. Vanchakalpatarubhascha, kripasindhuvya vacha, patitanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnavyo, namo namaha. Hari Hari. Okay. See you tomorrow. I'm going to chant. I know your work. So we talk more tomorrow, chapter 3. Let's see what's
Chapter 3.
Swami has to
Yes.
say.
Hare Krishna. Have a good day.
You too. Hari
Thank you very much.